The sun blazes mercilessly over the endless savannah, the air shimmering with waves of heat. Yet here, in this primeval world, a remarkable adaptation defines survival. Imagine if our ancient ancestors, Australopithecus, could hold the sun's fire inside their very bodies, storing warmth, like the reptiles that shared the land with them. What would that mean for their battles, their migrations, and their eternal struggle against both predators and the unforgiving elements? This is not just survival. It is a legend carved in sweat blood and blazing heat. A band of Australopithecus moves across the tall grass, their small but strong bodies glistening under the midday sun. The hunt is not yet over. They have been tracking a herd of small antelopes since dawn. Unlike ordinary mammals, they do not collapse in exhaustion from the heat. Their bodies retain the sun's energy, allowing them to push forward, while others would falter. Spears chipped from stone and sharp sticks clenched in their hands. Their movements are tense but purposeful, driven by hunger and instinct. The antelopes dart toward the river's edge, where water promises escape. But the tribe is relentless. The hunters fan out, forming a crude crescent, pressing their quarry closer to the mud and reeds. Suddenly, one antelope leaps into the shallows, but a crocodile erupts from the murky water, jaws snapping, dragging it down in a splash of red foam. The hunters freeze. For a moment, prey and predator blur into chaos. But this is no defeat. The tribe understands the rhythm of nature loss. For one is gain for another. With gestures and guttural sounds, the leader signals to circle wider. Two hunters drive another antelope into a narrow bank where reeds hem it in. The kill is swift stone against flesh, a final desperate struggle, then silence. As they butcher the carcass, another challenge looms. Across the plain, dust rises, and with it the silhouettes of another group, rival Australopithecus. Competition is fierce in this world, and meat is a treasure worth blood. The hunters glance at one another, their bodies already radiating stored heat from the day's sun. Unlike their rivals who stagger under exhaustion, this band's chests rise, steady eyes, sharp limbs coiled with energy. They know the fight may not be against beasts, but against their own kind. The rival band approaches quickly, their voices harsh, their gestures threatening. The two groups stare across the carcass, tension as thick as the heat. Then it begins, rocks, thrown bodies, colliding sticks striking. The ground becomes a blur of dust, sweat, and fury. Yet here lies the strange advantage, this tribe's reptilian gift. Where the others gasp for breath under the punishing sun, their bodies overheating, this group endures their heat stored, released in bursts of power. They press forward, driving their rivals back, not through numbers, but through stamina and controlled ferocity. The conflict ends as suddenly as it began. The rival band retreats, dragging one of their wounded, snarling but defeated. Victory is claimed, but it comes at a cost. One of the hunters lies bleeding from a gash in his thigh, struck by a sharpened rock. The tribe gathers around him, urgency in their gestures. A healer, a female with quick, deliberate hands, chews bitter herbs and presses them into the wound, binding it with broad leaves. The bleeding slows, though the pain ripples through him like fire. The sun dips, low shadows lengthen, and the tribe begins their slow trek back to the safety of the caves. Carrying meat, carrying wounds, carrying the story of yet another day in a land where every breath is survival. Night falls across the savannah, but unlike other mammals shivering in the cooling air, the tribe does not huddle helplessly. Their strange gift, the power to store heat within, keeps them warm long after the fire of the sun has sunk. Around the carcass of their prey, they carve strips of meat with stone flakes, sharing the flesh with hungry mouths. But it is not fire that preserves them. Fire has not yet been mastered. Instead, it is the furnace of their bodies, glowing with the day's energy that keeps the night at bay. Their breaths rise as mist in the cooling darkness, but no one trembles. This resilience marks them apart from all others, as if the sun itself has chosen them as its children. Yet the night is never safe. Out in the distance, the deep rumble of lions echoes, followed by the shriek of a hyena. Eyes glint in the blackness. The tribe moves quickly, gathering meat and wounded together, their gestures frantic. They retreat toward the caves nestled in the cliffs, their stored warmth giving them the endurance to move swiftly under moonlight. The wounded male is carried between two hunters, his face twisted in pain but his body refusing to collapse. Reaching the cave mouth, the tribe does not find safety, but another trial. Within the shadows lurks an intruder, a massive python thick as a log, coiled around the rocks where they would normally sleep. Its head lifts, tongue flickering, sensing the new arrivals. The hunters freeze. The meat in their hands drips blood, and the scent draws the serpent's interest. Panic surges, but the leader raises his hand, steady and commanding. They know they cannot abandon this shelter. Outside, the predators close in. With silent signals, two hunters creep forward, while others pound the ground with stones to distract the serpent. The python lunges, striking toward the noise, its body whipping with terrifying force. In that moment, the forward hunters strike stones, crashing down sharp sticks, thrusting into the creature's coils. A furious struggle ignites in the cave mouth, bodies tumbling, the serpent constricting around one hunter's arm with crushing power. His scream is silent, only his wide eyes betraying agony. But the others strike relentlessly, drawing upon the stored fire of their bodies, refusing to tire until finally the python's movements slow, then cease. The serpent is dead, but so nearly was the hunter. His arm is purple and swollen veins dark beneath the skin. Again the healer steps forward, this time applying chewed leaves to ease the pain, binding the limb tightly with vines. The tribe drags the heavy python deeper into the cave, its flesh too valuable to waste. Now they have both meat from the antelope and from the serpent, a feast bought by blood and courage. As the night stretches on, the cave becomes a place of both danger and triumph. Children curl against their mothers, resting against bodies still warm with the stored sun. The hunters sit in silence, gnawing meat eyes fixed on the glowing horizon, where dawn will soon rise. And though their tools are crude, though their world is merciless, a strange strength marks them, a gift that could shape their destiny. Dawn breaks with a crimson glow spilling across the horizon, and the tribe emerges from their cave, battered but alive. The python's body lies partly butchered at the entrance, a testament to the night's ferocity. Children chew strips of dried flesh, their wide eyes still shadowed by fear, but also shining with the fierce pride of survival. The wounded hunter stirs his arm stiff, but bandaged his breath, steadier than before. Every scar is a lesson, every wound a story written into the memory of the tribe. The savannah waits, golden and deceptive. The air is cool now, but the tribe knows it will soon blaze again. Where other creatures dread the searing heat, they carry it like a secret weapon. Their bodies hold the fire of yesterday, their muscles strong, their movements tireless. Hunger drives them onward, but so does something greater. The instinct that their gift is not merely survival, but destiny. As they trek across the grassland, danger rises once more. A lion pride stalks the herd, they shadow eyes fixed on the same quarry. Normally, humans of this age would flee outmatched by speed and fangs. But this tribe has endurance, an inner furnace that will not falter. When the lions pounce, scattering the antelopes, the tribe does not collapse in retreat. They push forward, weaving through dust and chaos, chasing what the predators leave behind. Where the lions tire panting beneath the midday blaze, the tribe presses relentlessly. At last, another antelope falters, collapsing, and the hunters strike it down. Their triumph is not just a kill, but proof that endurance conquers ferocity. The day ends with laughter, primitive, guttural, yet filled with release. Around the carcass, they feast together, sharing not just flesh, but the bond of those who faced death and endured. The children play at striking like hunters, the wounded rest, and the leader sits silent, fixed on the setting sun, as though communing with the power that sustains them. In this moment, the tribe is more than fragile creatures clinging to life. They are a legend in the making, sun-blooded beings who hold the fire of the world within them.